What to do with a dollar. EM Real.
Real crew. EM Real. I'm right back at you with another episode of What to Do with a Dollar. Now this episode is, yes, Airbnb, but how with construction. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to it. All right, now we're going to talk about Airbnb. We're getting ready to build an Airbnb. It's a construction project, but I'm going to use it for an Airbnb. Number one, the first thing you have to do is simply you got to go to the bank for bank approval. Now, what does that look like? You have to have your credit in line. You have to have a good credit score. Now, 620 to 580 can get you a mortgage. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about building, construction, that type of thing. You have to have at least a 680. Yes, you have to have a credit score that's 680 or above. Now, how to get that done? Hey, look at a couple of my other videos. We talked about 7, 8, 9 points on building your credit. It has to be 680. I would shoot for 700 at least. But to be basically bank proof, 730 counts. Number two, you got to work on your balance sheet. You know what that means? Your assets and your liabilities. You know, what assets do you have? What liabilities do you have? Basically, now let's look at what you own versus what you owe. Along with that, you have to have some type of income coming in. So first of all, assets, liability. You have to look at that balance sheet. That's what are you earning versus what are the monies that's going out. Inflow versus outflow, thing you have to have. So when you're going to the bank, they're going to look at that income, the assets and the liabilities. That's number two on that point. But number three, you got to have an income statement. Yeah, if you have some type of business, you got to show your revenue. You got to show revenue. Not only showing revenue, you got to show expenses for that revenue. So for instance, if you were looking at doing Turo as a business, you have a car note, right? That's an expense. You have gas, that's an expense. You have insurance, that's an expense. But your monthly rentals, say they're $50 a day for a car, times you're renting it 25 times, you have to multiply that. So basically, now that's the revenue that's coming in, okay? Number one, that's dealing with the bank. The bank is needs to see that. All right, the next thing is you got to have income. You have to be showing money. So the bank is going to want to see, basically, like I mentioned, money coming in. How are you making money? Now, you could have a job. You could have a side hustle. Now, you could have streams of income, but the bank is going to want to see. What you need to know is how much money you make a year. So if it's $5,000 a month, you know you make $60,000. They like that number, okay? Not only that, when you're getting ready, it's two ways to do this construction loan. Number one is based on the house you want to build, square footage. They're going to ask you for 15% down, 20% down. So for instance, if your contractor is telling you that it's going to be $150 per square foot to build, times 2,000 square feet of the house that you propose, okay, gotcha. Now you already know that that's going to be $300,000. 20% of $300,000 is $60,000. Now you have to have $60,000 in cash, going back to that money. Or you can have the land. See, now, money in the bank, money that you're making, money that you save for this down payment of 20%, or you can have the land. And in the land aspect, all you need is 85% of what the loan would be. That's they'll give you 85% of what the loan would be based on the fact that you already have the land. For example, we have bought a piece of property. We're going to say 50 by 125, but we bought it for $25,000, so it's already there. Okay? So now we're going to build this property, only 2,000 square feet of property. No, actually it's 1,200 square feet of property. You know, it's only going to cost us $240,000. Now, that being said, they're going to give us 85% of that $240,000 because we already have the land. All right. Third aspect is plans. You got to know the plans. You're doing Airbnb, it's going to be one door or is it going to be two doors? Of course, two doors is better than one. Here's the money again. Conventional. Say you charge $150 a day times 20 days a month, you're making $3,000. Say your mortgage is only $1,000. Of course, you clear $2,000. That's not including all the maintenance fee. Two doors, right? If you had two doors, a duplex, now at 150 times 20, that's 3,000 times 2, that's 6,000. So you got to know the doors. Okay, the size of the property also matters. Is it going to be 1,000 square foot property, 1,200 square foot property, 1,500 square foot property? Of course, if it's a duplex, it could be 1,000 each. Single family home, 1,200, 1,500, 1,800. Why? Because it matters, because instead of charging just $150 a month, you can charge, a day, you can charge actually $200 based on how large the property. And that last aspect of dealing with plans, you got to know how the outside looks. Make sure the decor is right. The colors of the shutters, the door, the actual property itself, the outside, what type of paint. Make sure it's modern. Make sure the inside is an open floor plan. The decor is properly. And lastly, where. The where is where you're going to put this property. Find land in a place where the cost of living is higher. You can get higher money per your daily rent. Short-term rental, of course. Those are three things that we're talking about. And I'm going to give you the steps through this because I'm doing this now. Those are the first three things I need you to take care of. I'm Ian Real. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Till next time, deuces.